SB and Sean breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound. Unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up. Over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live as we talk with Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. It is Monday. Sean, how you feeling today, brother?
Doing good, SB. Happy Monday to you. A lot of it's a sports equinox day, so a lot of
stuff going on.
We got World Series tonight. We got Monday Night Football. We got NBA games. We got NHL. If you're into that, So this is like I think this October is the best sports month of the year, and this is one of the reasons why, because there's just so much going on during this time.
I'm gonna say, Sean, right now in the sports world, it is getting shaky for everybody. Make sure you guys watch. Make sure you guys like. Make sure you guys subscribe. Bing notification bell to notify when we go live. Salute Tiff in the building. Salute Jordan. Said Chi-Town there. Salute Jared. Salute everybody. Make sure you guys come in. And because we got a lot to discuss, Sean. It's a lot to discuss. It's going to be football and basketball mainly today. I know no baseball, no the World Series going on, and no hockey. Sorry if you guys look for that. Because we got an NBA betting scandal going on. We got to definitely break that down. We have a head coach arrested at Chauncey Billups. We had a Terry Rozier arrested, who was a current player. Damon Jones, who's the assistant coach. We got to break all those down. Also, Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama, the 7'5" sensation that we never seen do what somebody at that height do, has Jordan and LeBron fans, mainly LeBron fans, genuinely scared. I watch y'all on these the TikTok comments, the feeds, and all that had them genuinely scared, where they're worried that the throne can be taken as the top guy. Imagine it's just a couple games. He got to do this over some years, but you're gonna break that down too. But Victor Wembanyama generally has LeBron fans and Jordan fans generally scared. Then also, we got to go into our Week 8 recap. A lot of gruesome injuries this week. Shout out Cam, Scatterboo. We also got to talk about our real takes and overreactions. It's a lot of things to go to, so we're going to get right to it. We're not going to waste you guys' time. Let's go ahead and start here first, Sean. Let's just get the elephant out the room first before we get into anything exciting with the Wemby, the NFL Week 8, the NBA gambling problem. So Sean, over the last couple of days, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier was arrested with Damon Jones. First of all, how bad of a look is it for the NBA to have a current head coach and a current player arrested for gambling?
I think it's a bad look, SB, if the gambling is associated with the sport that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And let me be clear, the accusation, because we're not saying that they are guilty or not. We're saying that, again, they've been arrested and they're being accused of, Terry Rozier in particular, of essentially, making a decision to check out of a game. And this particular day, there were, several bets made, large numbers of bets made on Terry Rozier, which again, whatever they have in the algorithm that was able to pick that up and figure that out was very interesting to me. And I'm not a gambler, so I'm not someone who uses daily sports, betting apps or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever they were able to use to pick up in the algorithm to see the quote unquote irregularities, I think is super interesting. Obviously, you know, Chauncey Billups' situation is different because it's related to allegedly some high stakes poker games that were apparently put on by the Italian mafia, allegedly.
Sound like some movie stuff, to be real.
That does sound like a movie, and that apparently those that were involved outside of one person, maybe one or two people, knew that these games were to defraud certain individuals out of, you know, a large amounts of money. So two very different situations, but obviously if for the NBA, it's not a good look, particularly opening week is supposed to be an exciting week. It's a week of, you know, obviously excitement and hope. And if you are a fan of one of the 30 teams, you know, that's what the focus, you would hope the focus would be. And when this news came out late last week, obviously it was, you know, a big blow to the NBA. I don't think they were expecting it on any level. From what I understand, they did not know, the NBA offices did not know this was coming down when these arrests happened early Thursday morning. And, you know, so.
Which is weird to me, Sean, because, you know, once things like this happen, the internet has a track record. If anything was to happen, no matter what it is, the internet is going to dig up any possible videos or anything that could be related to it. And it's going to be something that I in our real takeover reaction, I'm going to say that's going to relate to this later. But how it was the Melo. Okay, let me just say the video. Melo got in trouble. Remember, Melo had got suspended, and he was doing that no stitching video and all that. He said he brought up the story how David Stern brought him in the office. David Stern broke down everything to him, what he was doing, who he was with, what the type of life they was living, who they are, and he told him like, "Hey, you can't do both. You gotta, if you want to play NBA, go play NBA in the street." How the NBA not knowing this, I guarantee you, not even like to step on Adam Silver's toes. If David Stern was around during the time, he would have had all this information. He would have known this move would not have happened. David Stern probably would have found a way to like, all right, you could go ahead and send them to where you're gonna cover it up, or they're gonna find a way to suspend it or something. It was no way this was not gonna happen without them knowing. To go over the NBA when there's been their past have shown that they have been tied with like the feds or people of high power. So when things like this were to happen, they'll be ahead of it. So it doesn't look bad on the NBA. And also it helps them, not even saying like they stalking players, but honestly, if you paying somebody millions of dollars, you need to keep up with what they got going on. So it'd be like they'd have had people who kept tabs on NBA players. So now I'm seeing things like this. Not saying that David Stern was a saint and he was just this lockdown perfect president of the league, but I'm just saying stuff like this wouldn't hit the fan under his helm.
I mean, it's a different time, obviously. SB, you know, you're talking about obviously the age of social media, especially, and there's so many more insiders and there's so many more people who are involved with the NBA from a coverage perspective. It's just a different time, so I don't want to compare the two times, but I will say, obviously, there was some thought that in 1993, when Michael Jordan retired, and I'm using in air quotes, retired, that Michael Jordan was actually being suspended because of some of the gambling allegations around him, and obviously some of it was very negative news around him, you know, with the casinos and gambling and things like that. I want to also be very clear. There's been a lot of conversation around gambling and the NBA. I think gambling, and I'm saying gambling, and I'm talking specifically from just a competitive perspective, that's what it's about, right? These guys get on planes, and they're on planes 4 or 5 hours at times, and they're playing high-stakes card games in the back of the plane, things like that, for a lot of money. This is the competitive nature of many of these guys. Some, not all, but some. And so it doesn't come as a shock to me when, again, gambling comes up because of the competitive nature of gambling. And so I think we just have to own that this is a part of, in my opinion, the culture of professional sports. And it always has been. Now, that's one side. The other side is again, there's lines not to be crossed, and the line you don't cross is you don't want the integrity of the game being questioned in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we talk about Terry Rozier and anybody else who's been, accused of this, Jonte Porter, guys who've been accused of this, that's because the integrity of the game is at question, and in no way do you want the integrity of the game to be questioned on any level. You want to know that things are being done on the up and up with the intent of competing fairly and trying to win games. So I think that's the other side of it. But this is not a good look for the NBA. And again, I want to make clear, I don't think this is the entire NBA. I think it's a very small subset of the NBA involved in this, and people in the NBA involved in this. But the fact is anytime any cheating or potential allegations around whether or not the game is living up to its integrity is that question, the NBA has a responsibility, I think, to step up and to respond in kind, and we'll see what happens.
And with me, so when you say respond in kind, so it's like, okay, say Billups and them are found guilty, should they just like be out the league?
Well, I think again it depends. So there's
because I've seen the Terry Rozier clips. I don't know if you've seen them, like the days of legend. I mean, and you should know because some of those days he was with the Heat, and I know sometimes you was like he was god awful trash. So now it's like,
well, again,
it looks different now. We knowing he's doing that on purpose.
Well, again, I think the questions are: is the play tied to the betting, right? Because if you can specifically show that, then that's a big question. Now, again, we've seen Jonte Porter get a lifetime ban from the NBA, right? It's not impossible that anybody involved with this on any level could receive a lifetime ban if it's involved with the game. Pete Rose is the great example of that. Pete Rose bet on baseball. Pete Rose denied betting on baseball for years. So Pete Rose had a lifetime ban from baseball that was never lifted up until his passing a couple years ago. So I think that's always a potential thing, right? Because the league is like they want to be zero tolerance and they want to set a precedent. And the precedent is if you're involved with this and you're challenging or you're making the game or bringing the game to a place where we have to question the integrity of the game, we're getting you out of here. We're getting you out of the league, and you will not be involved with the league on any level. Chauncey Billups' situation is slightly different because of the poker. Now, I will say there is one in some of the charging documents. There is one, they don't name him, but they actually say this person lives in Portland, played in the NBA from 1997 to 2014, and currently coaches in the NBA, who allegedly gave out information about, I believe, Damian Lillard's status for a game to someone who used that information to place large bets. They don't say Chauncey Billups, but again, if you read the description of the person, the only person who fits that description is Chauncey Billups. So, so if that's the case, and again, these are all allegations, we have to wait and see what happens. But if these allegations are found to be true, then I have to believe that you'll see lifetime bans for anybody involved with it at this level.
And also, because with Chauncey, his situation is a little different because he, like you said, he was hosting illegal poker games. So it's not like he wouldn't necessarily say he's betting on the game, but with the main thing with him. But it could be a possibility he gave out information. Also, people question his coaching schemes, like maybe he was giving up like information. Because my only thing is this, which I think some people will do, because obviously anytime somebody get caught in trouble, people, if the most gangsterous people, the most like people who was really, really in the streets end up telling Sean, they end up talking. So what happened if Chauncey pulled of, well, I didn't want to do this, but I made a bad deal with the mafia, or I was in a bad situation where he was in debt, so he ended up having to pay his debt off. Cause I was watching a video like when this image came out. It was I forgot this guy's name. It's like a former mafia guy who was on YouTube, and he was talking about how they sometimes do that. Like a guy come bet, he lose the money, he's in debt, he's a sports guy, so for him to recoup his money. But we know once they get you once, you just stuck in there with life. So now they'd be like, oh well, you owe me $250,000. All right, next game you need to fumble 2-3 times. We're gonna put a bet on that.
Yeah, I mean, so I know you're talking about, I think it's Michael Franzioni, the guy you're talking about. I'm gonna be real. Some of his takes can be a little
over exaggerated.
Yeah, just okay. And there's been people who called him out about some of those takes. So I'm not saying he's completely wrong. I am saying that, again, regardless of whoever's involved with this, I think they're going to have to be able to show and prove that this person was involved in this, and we have immutable evidence and indisputable evidence that shows that these people were involved in this behavior, and this was a pattern and things like that. I'm not assuming guilt on any level. You're innocent until proven guilty. The allegations have been made, and we'll see what happens when this thing goes to court. But the fact is that if this turns out to be true, I think you're going to see the NBA, regardless of any sentencing and things of that nature, the NBA is going to impose a lifetime ban on anybody involved in this.
Before I get to my main point too, Sean, I got one question though. Do you think it's a coincidence that Chauncey Billups had a Clutch Sport hoodie on when he got arrested? Was he trying to send a message and be like, "Hey, y'all better come get me"?
I don't know. We're in the
allegedly.
We're in the age of troll, and so
you ain't trolling with them cups.
No. I'm just saying, again, I don't make any assumptions. And as far as I know, Chauncey Billups hasn't made any public statements. His attorney has made statements, but he's not made a public statement. So until he does and anybody involved does, I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
Now, my second half of that, though, right? Let's just say Clutch Sports had nothing to do with this, right? How pissed would you be if you're LeBron and Clutch Sports team? You had nothing to do with this, but this fool Chauncey Billups, while getting arrested for gambling, got a Clutch Sport hoodie on.
I mean, again,
I'll be pissed. I'm not going to even hold you, Sean. Like, bro, what are you doing?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, they arrested him at 6 a.m. I'm gathering he just threw on whatever was nearest to him or closest to him to go, into custody. So I'm not going to say he purposely put something on, and if you don't know. So generally, and I want to say this, with high profile individuals, usually you work with their attorney for them to turn themselves in.
Right.
This was a photo op. They wanted to capture the perp walk. So normally this is not the way it's done. I think it was done this way with the intention of trying to show a photo op.
Right.
My belief. So I'm not going to say he, put on this or wore that, or, I think it was very much a surprise to him as it was to us getting the news.
Sean, my biggest thing is this too. When we go the full circle, it's a saying in the streets, right? All money ain't good money, and I believe the NBA, part of this problem what we got is going on. The NBA got to take their licks when it comes to this too, because they accepted all this gambling money, and when it comes to accepting all this gambling money, now you got FanDuel, ESPN Bet 360, which is new image, whatever. Any of the betting sites or the sports booking on the courts, and it's every other commercial, every other ad. I won't be surprised when if the ad hit on Why We Live, where it says it's a sports betting commercial, because they know we talking sports. They tie everything to this, Sean. And my main point that I really want to say is this, right? And if they need to do this swiftly, I should say, the NBA needs to separate themselves from betting. The NBA needs to separate from gambling. The NBA needs to separate itself from gambling because it's hard to get people to, even though everybody can look and see, like, yeah, you know the rules. The NBA told y'all don't do this, don't do that. Guess what? Even Shaq said it. You get a book where they tell you what not to do. They have me tell you what your do's and don'ts. You say that, and right after you say that, I get hit with 3 different sports books commercials. Every time. It's more sports betting events and ads than sometimes it be basketball. Go back and look at last year's All-Star game. I guarantee you it was probably just as many sports betting commercials as it was basketball being played. Now, don't get me wrong. The NBA, yes, if the sports betting book want to work, y'all take some money. But don't take that much money where it's to a point where it's blasted all over the screen, because they'd be like, I can't tell my child, hey, do not touch I'm trying to think, like, do not touch the iron because it's hot or something. But all I keep showing her is videos of people touching irons. And I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I know somebody gonna be like, oh, but she sees somebody get a hand burned. But what if in the video that I'm showing her people touching iron, they're not getting their hand burned? And the one time she go do it, she touched it and get her hand burned. But it's gonna be curious. My whole point is just saying the curiosity of seeing it. Because if I'm seeing enough as a fan, I know the NBA players are seeing it. And if not even just the NBA players are even seeing it, you in the league, Sean, I'm your boy. I'm watching you on TV. Sports bet. Man, look, bro, you could just fake your injury, bro. I can get this 200,000, 20,000. And then you can even look at it as the NBA player and be like, I do want to give my boy some money, but I don't want to give him my money all the time. And they go a dumb reason to do a sports bet. Because that's what Terry Rozier did pretty much. And went back to the table counting the money, and the money ain't even worth it. At the end, I just think the NBA needs to separate itself, because the more and more these things go on with these problem players, and I don't think it's going to stop, it's going to be another play. You see what happened with college. I think it was some way they like leaned their rules on sports betting for college. But it's like nobody's going to have sympathy for the league, or nobody's going to be like, just be down on the players, because it's been plenty of times people thought the NBA was rigged for other reasons, especially when it comes to refs. But they're going to look at it as, hey, you punishing all these players for betting in a lifetime, but every other commercial, or y'all are super tied with these guys. All the money is coming from them too. I just think for the league to grow, or not even to grow, to keep the integrity of the game, you have to separate yourself from betting. They have to. It shouldn't be like every other commercial. If that's going to be a part of it, if an NBA game plays, Sean, I could probably say, honest with you, I probably see like 6 to 10 commercials about sports betting. It's no minimum. I shouldn't see no more than like 1 or 2 or 3, or one time for each bet service, maybe.
I mean, I'm gonna say 2 quick things. That's because I know we need to move on. Number one, the moment these leagues decided that the revenue generating interest was more important than anything, and they've decided that sports gambling was going to be part of their revenue, they no longer get to be the moral majority on sports betting for their league. I'm sorry, what, fair or not, right? I can't tell someone, not to drink if I'm getting wasted every night.
Come on now.
So that's the first thing. I think the second piece of it, and if we're just being very honest, we have to embrace this is just a part of the lexicon now. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but it's not going anywhere. We just have to figure out, I think what we have to figure out, and what these leagues and MLB and NFL and NBA, they're going to have to figure out, how do we better protect our employees, players, coaches, execs, all across the board in this matter and in this issue, so they don't find themselves in these compromising positions. Those are the things they're going to have to look at. Is it more training? Is it more reinforcement? Is it more I don't have the answer to that, but they're gonna have to figure that out.
They're gonna have to. Let us know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Does the NBA need to separate itself from gambling? Let us know. Sean, the main thing that has been rocking the NBA world is a guy in Texas, 7'5" now. They say 4, but they say he grew to 7'5". In 3 games right now is averaging 33 points, 56% from the field, 36% for 3, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, and averaging a whopping 6 blocks per game. That's probably one of the most outstanding stats of everything on this list. Victor Wembanyama has changed a lot of people's tone and has a lot of people nervous and scared. And no, T-Perfect, can we wait until Wemby wins Jack until we say he has Mike and Jordan scared? Mike and Jordan, Mike and LeBron scared. The problem is he don't have Mike and LeBron. He has the fan bases scared because this is something we never seen before in an NBA player. We never seen a player this high play like this. And Sean, if Wemby is play like this for a 10-year span, 10, just 10. Because I figure he play like this, he gonna win MVPs, DPOYs. The team is deep, so they gonna win championships. He gonna mess around. If he play like this for 10 years straight, Sean, Victor Wembanyama will change the GOAT debate. Because when you ask people, and T-Bird was asked, like, can you wait till you win something? No, y'all don't. When y'all had these conversations and y'all having y'all man decided who's going to be the next guy, y'all don't wait. Y'all didn't wait to call Jordan the GOAT over Kareem. Jordan won one ring, and he was over Kareem. Really, they said Jordan was really the GOAT because that was the best player they ever seen play basketball. He just have to win for they solidify. I'm saying the same thing with women. LeBron. Y'all crowned LeBron the GOAT and said he was the best player in the league in 2 years in the league. Then y'all claimed he was the GOAT after the Miami run. Y'all didn't have nothing on point with that. Y'all didn't have a certain destination or waited till he wins something. Y'all crowned him that. It's because of what y'all see, what y'all eyes on the court. I'm sorry. If you want to have a realistic conversation, the reality of the fact, Sean, he probably won't be healthy because nobody stays healthy at this height and play the way he is. I give Wemby credit. He's doing the things to try to change that, though. Going with the monks, eating healthy, change, just like doing things during the off season, changed a lot of stuff. But if this kid is to play 10 years, Sean, he'll change the narrative, Sean. I'm sorry. Do you think he got a chance?
I think he's a great young talent.
Hmm.
I think if he remains healthy and that San Antonio Spurs team becomes a contender really quickly and they're able to win with him clearly as the lead dog, sky's the limit. But we have
back-to-back rookies of the year too, by the way, on the team.
Right. And and again, they're a team that's they're going to be a problem. I think we said it even in our Western Conference preview last week.
Mm-hmm.
The West is going to be a dogfight, and the Spurs are going to be right there in that fight, I believe, if they're healthy. So, and he's going to be a big part of the reason why. Watching him is it's like a cheat code. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And again, the closest thing I've ever seen to this is Ralph Sampson. But again, that was 40 years ago, and the NBA was a very different league then.
Ralph Sampson couldn't play the way he wanted to play anyway in the NBA. It was a different time.
It was a different time, exactly. But I mean, when you just talk about skill and ability to handle the ball, that size, that height, could shoot, all those things, and then defensively could basically 6 blocks a game. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that?
That's what I'm saying. Right now, he'd be MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He's on trajectory to do it. I mean, which would be crazy to do that in your second year.
Well, third year.
Well, the third year, yes, third year.
Yes. But I mean, again, I think he's a guy that obviously has the sky's the absolute limit for him. But again, a lot of it's going to come with winning because when we talk about and again, I don't do the GOAT debate thing. There's another guy who played 19 years for that franchise who he's not even in the stratosphere with that guy just yet. So, but projecting if he's healthy, sky's the limit. But let's see. Let's just wait and see. Listen, let's just enjoy it, right? Because this is an amazing thing. Let's just enjoy it. I know people can't do that. People gotta, get into arguments and things like that. Let's just enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, Sean, I'm gonna be real with you. My honest, true basketball mind, and from now, medicine has changed. We have advancement in things. Some different can happen. But the reality of the fact that my basketball mind is telling me this is what's going to happen. Knock on wood, because I don't want to wish this is on a young man. Usually got his height the first couple of years. We can even go back to somebody recently. Remember how Porzingis was when he first got with the Knicks? Crazy. Injuries, he had to change his game. I probably see that when Wemby changes his game, still be a viable player? 100%. Because this Spurs team is that deep in what it like. They got Castle, Harper now. Harper looks good. Still got De'Aaron Fox. I think Wemby gonna change his game and still be the Spurs gonna still be able to compete for a championship at some point in time. But what my basketball man is truly genuinely telling me, so I'm gonna knock on one more time. I'm trying to hesitate for something, but I'm gonna be honest. He's gonna ball out like this first couple of years, maybe next 2 years. Get injured, gotta change his game. He'd be more of a pick and pop big, play more like how the regular big, like Porzingis did. Still compete. And we'd be going back watching these Wemby highlights and be like, man, if Wemby could have stayed like this, like we do every other person. Now, the next thing, to be honest, but what made me realize this with Wemby is Jordan fans and LeBron fans are one and the same. And because it took a 3-game sample size, which is 3 games is nothing. We have seen players go on a 3-game stretch, 10-game stretch. We've seen Kobe, LeBron, and Harden made y'all go on a stretch, made y'all lose y'all man, Sean. And this probably part of the reason why you don't do the GOAT debate, because literally, Sean, I was watching them use the 3-and-1 as like how the Jordan fans use 6-0. And man, they always say that. Sean, it was utterly atrocious, and it was funny to me. I was just like, I said this a long time ago. I said, you going to become the one thing y'all hate. And when the true player come, which it could be Wemby or in the future, when we get older and I'm going to be looking back and I probably can tell like, nah, this dude better than that dude, they're going to be talking about LeBron like how they used to do Jordan. It's the same thing. Now, my real question is this, and I'm going to say tier 1 for you, Sean. Honestly, if it is a resume sheet to make Wemby the GOAT, what would it be? What would Wemby need to do to become the GOAT? Or for you, Sean, tier 1?
Multiple MVPs.
Okay.
Multiple championships. Multiple accolades. Clearly the best player in the NBA for probably at least a 3 or 4 year run.
Well, multiple is the 2 the minimum.
2
championships,
championships.
2 MVPs. Is that the minimum?
Yeah, okay. For me it is. Yeah, for me it is. But again, I'm not the biggest projector. I like to just let's watch a guy, because again, when I saw Joker in his first couple of years, I would not have imagined Joker became what he became. Right? I would not have imagined Giannis became what he became. Sometimes guys, hit their stride year 5, 6, 7, and it's like, whoa, okay. So Wemby's just doing this in year 3, but we saw the flashes even last season. It was just this year he's come. Obviously, he missed a large portion of last season with the blood clots, but this year he's come back, and you've seen the thing that's probably impressed me the most is his footwork and his balance.
Elijah Wan work.
The Elijah Wan, KG, that he's playing with better balance. And again, it's I don't like to use the term scary, but it's scary when a guy 7'5" can just bring the ball up and he's going to pull up from 3, and it's like, what can you do? But also he can also get to the basket in a couple of steps, and so
one step.
It really, yeah. I mean, so this is going to be interesting to see. Now, again, it won't just be him. It'll be obviously the continuing growth of Stephon Castle. It'll be what does Dylan Harper become while he's in his rookie season? Can they get great play from their role players of Vassell and Champagne and obviously some of their young guys, and when they get De'Aaron Fox back, which we didn't even mention De'Aaron Fox,
I did.
all of those things are going to factor in, because the reality of it is, SB, as much as we like to talk about these guys individually, nobody's great without the greatness of others in a team sport. So the fact is that he's going to need those guys and the people around him to be great in whatever their roles are and what they do. But he certainly, has again, the sky's the limit for the young man.
Sean, you know what's even scarier too about the Spurs in general? If De'Aaron Fox don't work out, or let's just say the positive way about it, so they can get a bang for their buck value for De'Aaron Fox. If Stephon Castle proceeds and become, or Dylan Harper proceeds and become a greater player, or show that they're better for the team than De'Aaron Fox, that they can step up, they can trade De'Aaron Fox for a haul, Sean, and add another piece to this team and still be good. This team is like, they got 2 trade assets on this team ready to move whenever they need it. And Wemby already on the Spurs about keeping the team like stacked and like keeping a good team around them. So that's going to be dangerous for me. That's what I'm saying. But if I answer my own question, Sean, what would Wemby need to be the GOAT? Honestly, if he play like what he playing right now for a 10-year stretch, yeah, he will be, because you never seen nobody his size do this. So, and it's on tape clear enough where everybody can see. So you seeing something that you never seen before. And how he's playing, he's going to win multiple MVPs. He's going to go on unless, like I said, injuries on the way out the way, he's going to go on a 7 to 8 year stretch being all NBA first team, all NBA defensive team, first team, consistently. Because right now, Wemby is playing like the best player in the league, both sides of the ball. He's going to win most championships because the Spurs team are deep. So you're telling me a guy who's probably going and win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year the same year too, if he keep playing like this. He has no choice but to be the greatest player. He's going to be the biggest player, because usually, I know we have been praising Jordan and LeBron, and LeBron kind of big, but the NBA has always been a big man game. It's always been a big man game. Before Jordan really came, it was no question that the best players of all time was all big men. I know everybody got Magic a little love and Bird a little love, but usually not 8 times. I'm gonna say 8 times out of 10, the best player is always gonna be the big man. It's a tall man sport. Sean, unfortunately, I know we was trying to hypothetically question, but the injury bug has loomed everywhere, and now even in the NBA. You usually do only NFL players. We got to add a couple. Number 1 on the injury bug list, Luka Doncic is out at least 1 week with a finger in the leg injury. And how serious this, Sean? Are you a little worried? Is Luka going to come into form when he come off this, or what?
I mean, obviously, anytime anybody gets injured and hurt this early in the season, obviously there's a little bit of concern. I mean, the fact that it's only 1 week, obviously is a big deal.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I think, we'll see what happens with him. But, certainly, for the Lakers, you want to get them back and get them healthy, as quickly as possible. But obviously, had this happened in this early in the week, early in the season, is certainly not a great deal.
For me, I think that the Lakers fine. It gave Austin Reeves a chance to go off, but I think with LeBron being out, as long as he is, you cannot afford for have Luka out as much as, like you said, the West is stacked. So you need to get Luka back as soon as possible. T-Wolves Anthony Edwards out at least 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. How serious is this, Sean?
Again, your team loses their best player this early in the season. It stinks, but certainly, obviously, for it's a hamstring strain. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be a week. It depends. Not sure how quickly they're going to reevaluate him. I know he left the game early last night and didn't return. So when he didn't return, you tell it's probably, something a little serious. But they were able to figure out a way to win last night without him. And this is a part of the game. Guys get hurt. I know it's cliche to say next man up, but it's everybody's got to, step their game up and, try to fill in to replace, 25 points and 5 rebounds and 5 assists, and you move forward. Unfortunately, the league is not going to suspend games until these guys come back. So,
no.
Figure it out.
I know we're done with Wemby. Let me address this real quick. Bobby D said Wemby has huge potential, but dang, y'all goofy over 3 games and so early in his career. Let's talk after his first MVP and chip. Clearly you didn't hear me and Sean. You didn't listen. You gotta listen with your ears, not listen with your mouth. Listen, respond, brother. We never said that. We reacted to how I literally said we reacted to how people are reacting to Wemby 3 games. It's just that the main people that I see who are nervous off these 3 games is probably which you probably is a LeBron fan base or Jordan, LeBron fan base and Jordan fan base, because y'all worry about the crown being taken. That's literally it. I know, right? But I digress. But let's go to the football, because we got to get to some football talk. Before we get into the gruesome injury, I mean, this is bad too, but Carson Wentz to undergo season-ending shoulder surgery. I think it might be a wrap for Carson Wentz, man. It sucks for Carson Wentz because he was at an MVP level on the Eagles, get hurt. Nick Foles carried the team to the championship, and he was never the same. But what's your reaction to this injury, Sean?
Well, I mean, obviously for the Vikings, having a veteran quarterback with Carson Wentz experience come in after J.J. McCarthy got hurt, even though obviously J.J. McCarthy had not played all that well, if we're being frank, certainly kept their season afloat in a very tough NFC North. Now it appears that J.J. McCarthy will probably, get back sooner than later.
He ain't got no choice.
Well, I mean, if he's not healthy, he has a choice, because again, I think the big thing is they don't want to throw him out there if he's not healthy and able to protect himself, So ultimately, the Vikings will just have to figure, things out. I'm not an overreactive person, as you know, SB, but it does appear the Vikings might have made a mistake not figuring out a way to keep Sam Darnold. It may very well appear like they made a mistake. So, but obviously they.
Only thing I'm gonna say is nobody expected him to play that good, and I ain't nobody expecting him to consistently play that. I'm be real with you, because that was luck of the draw. That was luck of the draw. We could be honest. You don't think that was luck of the draw with Sam Darnold?
No, I think it's Sam Darnold was a guy who came from a system very similar, because he was in San Francisco. He got to Minnesota. Obviously, we know Kevin O'Connell tends to have great success with quarterbacks, and he had a great season last year, and he's having a really good season in Seattle this year. So maybe, just maybe, teams not giving up on him and saying, hey, this is still a guy with a lot of potential. We just got to put him in the right situation and he can be successful. That's what happened. I think, again, Minnesota, obviously picking J.J. McCarthy, a lot of times when you pick a player that high, you want to prove you were right. Yeah. And so, they want to prove that they're right about J.J. McCarthy. Whether they are remains to be seen. But the fact is that Carson Wentz was making it a lot easier for them not to have to rush J.J. McCarthy on the field. Not all that dissimilar to Mac Jones in San Francisco. They don't have to rush Brock Purdy back because Mac Jones was playing, pretty good football. So I think the Vikings obviously now are in a position where now they got to put J.J. McCarthy back out there when he's healthy, and they have to see, what he can do in their system, with more time and more experience.
Yeah. So for me though, how long does JJ actually get to still prove Kevin O'Connell right? Because this what year 2 he's been injured. Because I think like it's not for me right now. When I say this, it's not necessarily all about play. It's about him being healthy more than anything. But like how many more chances you gonna actually like give him to like be the guy and everything like that?
I mean, the NFL stands for not for long.
Not for long, yeah.
So, and if you're a team that feels like you're a Super Bowl contender,
right?
How long are you going to wait for this young guy to develop? So that's kind of the other side for them is they put together a team they felt like could very well, make some noise and make some damage in the playoffs. Right now, I would say they're the worst team in the NFC North.
Oh, for sure. I could go back to I think I had them at the bottom.
I know I had them at 4 as well.
Looking pretty good right now.
Well, yeah, that prediction is looking really good, but it was it was also because I just thought Green Bay and Detroit were ahead of them without question for me. So, and again, it wasn't speaking badly about Minnesota. It was just looking at the division and thinking Chicago was also going to be better this year, as well.
They have been.
Which they have been. So, I think it really comes down to, whether or not these teams are Minnesota views them. How does Minnesota view themselves? They view themselves as we got the best receiver in the league. We got a really good defense. We got a really good number 2 receiver. We got a really good tight end. We've invested in the offensive line. We've invested in the defensive line. They feel like they built a team that should be competitive. How long they're going to wait for J.J. McCarthy remains to be seen. But obviously, when you invest a first-round pick in someone, particularly a quarterback, you tend to want to give them some time to, show you that they can be the guy. But we've also seen teams move on from first-round quarterbacks, after a year or two for different reasons. But it's not uncommon that could happen.
I was trying to looking back at this. I want to look at mine too. Is there any? I think right now. You own the money with NFC North. For just NFC alone, since we're in the NFC, is any prediction that you kind of made, you looking back at like, they kind of selling me right now?
The one I'm probably the most heard about is in the AFC West.
The NFC West or AFC West?
The AFC West. Yeah, I thought the Raiders were going to be better than this.
I told you the Raiders were going to be good, but you don't believe me.
I thought the Raiders. I said Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's going. Is going to be that Pete Carroll. No, it's not been good this season. That's the one where that's the only one where I'm like, I'm a little concerned. Obviously, nobody could have seen the Colts coming the way they did, but but that's in the
I'm trying to look at where I got. Okay, so far this look my NFC look pretty on pace right now. Rams up top, 49 the Seahawks. But the Seahawks is better, obviously. It's nothing that I'm like tripping. Let me check my AFC. But so far, I feel like my NFC predictions was kind of on point right now. Oh yeah, well the AFC South one with the Colts, nobody's seen this coming from the Colts at all. So it's like I'm not tripping on it, but it's just like, yeah. What I am disappointed at right now, and I'm seeing it right now. The Dolphins, 100%. I'm gonna be honest. The Dolphins is
I think I had them finishing 4th.
Let me see. I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you struck gold on that one. You struck gold on that one. But yes, there it is right there. The Miami Dolphins. Never again. That was my Alabama love showing. I was trying to show love to it because he was a Bama guy. Never again. There it go right there. That was the one I got wrong. I will not be betting on the Miami Dolphins ever again. Speaking of NFC teams that did shock people, the injury bug, which was a gruesome injury, which you hate to see. Cam Scatterboo broke his ankle. It was a gruesome injury. If you've seen it, I'm sorry that you had to see that. If you haven't seen it, I don't recommend you go watch it. It was definitely that gruesome of an injury. And it was a tale of a lot of things, Sean, but when people seen him down, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because I didn't watch this game.
I did.
I was watching like on, and I think this game was in Philly though. Like,
Yeah,
because I have like the game I'm watching, and then on my laptop I might have like the red zone, whatever it's called, so it flipped through.
Yeah.
When they played the highlight back, even though it was in Philly, you could hear like the air drop out of like the stadium. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
Because even if you as the Eagles fans, even if you hate the Giants, no lie, you kind of like the two white boys. Let me be real. That was what they called them. They was like the exciting, what they call the wine, the exciting whites. But everybody like they brought that young energy. Somebody new to the Giants. They gave them a little, which is cool, crazy to say. They gave him a little flavor. I ain't gonna lie. They gave him a little burst of energy.
If salt is flavor,
it's salt. Yeah, it was salt.
Really, they bring a whole lot of seasoning, but they brought some juice. They brought some juice.
I ain't gonna lie, Sean. I ain't gonna lie. Any other situation with the white guys would be salt. They got a little seasoning on them. They got a little. It's still more than your average.
I mean, it's raisins in the potato salad. If we're being honest,
nah. I think they are understanding not to put. They are like the season where to not put raisins in the potato salad.
I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's just wait and see. Okay.
But the second part that was crazy too was Jackson Dart, because like you seen the air go out the stadium, even though it was an away game. You also seen like the air come out of Jackson Dart because that's his guy. But obviously, anybody seeing an injury like that, it's like the coaches and Jameis Winston's like you seen the video satellite like trying to get him to snap back into it, because it's like one, you see your guy getting hurt, and then you see him his leg sideways. I'd go crazy too.
Right.
And it sucks for Cam because I think he was the first guy to start like the change for the New York Giants. Then Jackson Dart came in and got his chance to change everything. But what was your reaction to like the injury in general, and then how you just see it going on?
I mean, it's a collision sport. You hate to see that type of stuff. You know it's probably going to happen. It's just the nature of the sport. Obviously, when you talk about Cam Scatterbo, he's been a juice, right? He carries the ball. Every carry he treats like his last carry. And he runs with a certain toughness that embodies that, that New York Giants fan base, quite a bit. And I think, regardless of where he were, but particularly in Philly, I think while they don't like each other, they do respect that. Right. And so there was a respect there. And that's why you did see them, cheer him when he, was making his way off the field and things like that. And obviously when an injury happens, I mean, again, an injury, but anytime a game has to be stopped for an injury in particular, it's always, man, how do we, get back to it? And obviously if you watch enough football or even play, you understand that there's a possibility something could happen. You hope it doesn't. You pray it doesn't, but there's a possibility something can happen. The good thing is, again, it was dislocation. I think he has surgery today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he said it was successful too.
So he'll, if you know him, he'll attack his rehab and he'll be back on the field next year. Ready to roll. So
I hope like what I'm saying. I didn't even say this. If it sounds crazy, I apologize. I hope it was like a clean break. Usually if it's like a clean break, it's easier to heal and it grows back stronger. But
it was a dislocation. So it wasn't a break, it was a dislocation. Okay. So a little different than a break. But obviously the big thing is you have to let your body heal, and then obviously you got to attack the rehab, and the folks who are, overseeing his rehab will hopefully, make sure that he's, not, doing too much too soon and things of that nature, and letting his body dictate, when he's ready to go.
That's how I feel about Jason Tatum too. Like I think they're rushing Tatum back. I know Tatum is doing well. Not even him, but he already back dunking. I'm like,
I saw Halliburton doing the same thing, and it's like, all right, guys, like let's
slow down.
I get it, but it's like you got a long life to live.
They're trying to force themselves back this season. There's no reason for the Celtics or the Pacers to be forcing Jason Tatum and Halliburton back. And even if you wish, you're not gonna get what you're gonna get from them.
And I'm saying this just from a personal experience. When I tore my knee up and I had reconstructive knee surgery, I had people telling me, "Oh, you'll never play lateral sports again," and blah blah blah. And in my mind, I'm like, whatever. And I'm killing myself to try to get back. I had surgery in May. By October, I was running with a brace, but it was because I was killing myself to get back, and it was the biggest mistake. I should have taken my time, because now I pay for it. So it's like, just you want people to just take the time, let your body heal. The core's not going anywhere. You're going to get back out there, and when you do, you want to know that it's more in between the ears than the body, but you want to know that you're ready to go.
Yeah. We got to go into week 8, right? A lot of things happened in week 8. Aaron Rodgers did not get his revenge. That's one. Cowboys got BTA. Buccaneers did your Saints dirty. Your ex-wife dominated your current wife, Sean. I'm gonna keep that joke running every time.
No, I'm not. I don't have an ex-wife.
Your ex-football team. The Bills looked shaky. If you want to talk about that, we could definitely talk about that. They luckily got it together later in that game, but they look shaky. The Dolphins won. The Jets won. And the Bears sold a game where they should have won. Snoop and Derrick Henry went crazy on.
Right.
And the Colts still look like the best team in the league, if that's the best way to summarize it.
Right.
Sean, this week 8. Is there we could break down a couple of things, but anything specific you wanted to point out this week that you kind of want to talk about? I got 2. I got 2 for sure. But what you got?
Yeah, 2 things. Number one, to the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers fans, I don't want to hear no complaints about your young quarterbacks anymore, because I saw what your backups did yesterday, and it was awful. So if yesterday's games don't make you appreciate Michael Penix Jr. and Bryce Young, I don't know what will, because it was awful. It was terrible. Terrible.
You better appreciate Bryce Young, because for them to win 4 games right now, and this was the only loss at home. They was undefeated at home before this last loss. So, yeah, you better appreciate Bryce. Truth.
Right. So, and Michael Penix Jr., I don't think Falcon fans didn't appreciate Michael Penix Jr., but if yesterday's game didn't make you appreciate him more, I hope it did. And obviously they didn't have Drake London yesterday either, so that factored in. But that's first thing. Second thing, happy for the Jets. Obviously we got the sad news yesterday about Nick Mangold, their longtime Pro Bowl center, passing away, after announcing he needed a kidney transplant a couple weeks ago. So, prayers to him and his family and the Jets, fans and family. But, they were able to pull out an unexpected win yesterday in Cincinnati. Breece Hall went berserk. And I think when we did when I did my fantasy picks of the week, I did say Breece Hall was the fantasy running back pick of the week. So if you had Breece Hall yesterday, you're welcome, because I know I did in my other league. And then, if we could just talk about the elephant in the room, I actually feel sorry for Dak Prescott. I actually feel sorry.
You feel sorry for Dakota?
No, I feel sorry for Dak Prescott, not the person, the quarterback. Because
what Dak do to you as a person? I'm like, I only get a quarterback back.
No, I'm not gonna go there. Let's just say, he's on some other stuff. Okay, but anyway, the quarterback, the fact that you literally have to go out and score every single time you have the football because your defense can't stop anyone. It's really bad. It's really bad. But at the same time, you play for the Cowboys. Jerry Jones owns the team. This is what you sign up for. So I feel sorry for Dak the quarterback. Now, Dak the person is the highest paid player in the NFL. And, I don't feel sorry for you. But Dak the quarterback, I feel sorry that offense has to go out and score every single time they had a football, because that defense is so bad. It's bad.
Sean, Jerry Jones told y'all already. I believe Dak is just that good and we should win through Dak. Long story short, you know what he told him? I have paid you a lot of money and you going to earn every penny. Since I paid you like this, yes, we're going to live and die through you. So, no, don't worry about it. Get you a defense? No, I'm not doing that. I paid you X amount of $1 million. And you're gonna earn every X amount of $1 million that I gave you. That's what I'm taking.
Yes, and also just last thing for me, I don't want to hear nothing else about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense for the rest of the season. This team finds a way to win every week.
No, they do.
Like that's literally like, you know, they figure out a way to win every week. He does his job. He does it well. I don't want to hear nothing else about Jalen Hurts ever again.
All I'm saying, Sean, is what I say was going to be this. I just know I'll be looking. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be all crazy like it was, but I'll be looking. All I'm saying is offense was – everybody felt like the offense ran fine. Who wasn't there? Who wasn't there complaining for the ball? That's all I'm saying, Sean. That's all I'm saying. I don't believe that's true, but I know that's what people saying. My other concern that I had, one of mine, is the Bills. Don't get me wrong, the score does not show how close this game was. And this game, if Bryce Young would have played, I think you had this game on upset alert, but you still picked the Bills.
No, I had it on upset alert, and I picked the Panthers.
You picked the Panthers, okay.
Yeah, I thought the Panthers would be able to run the football, but once they got down early, that pretty much was null and void.
That's what I'm saying, because the Panthers defense was like solid in the first, and the second, and then third, it kind of like went off. If Bryce Young would have played, Sean, because I think the problem was when the Panthers defense did get stops, the offense, they couldn't do nothing on offense. They couldn't do nothing. If Bryce Young would have played, they would have beat the Bills. If Bryce Young would have played, I can see or it would have been way closer. The Bills would have barely won. Bryce Young would have played, they would have beat the Bills. I'm trying to tell you, I'm just concerned with the Bills. One, with the stop and the run, the inconsistencies with Josh Allen. And then give James Cook the ball. I don't understand why it's so hard sometimes. They need to give James 19 carries. He needs to get around that every game. 19 to 20 carries every game. But the reason why I'm concerned about the Bills is because I'm not looking at the Bills as a team to be a good team. I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills as you are competing for a championship. And right now, if they don't fill them holes with the stopping the run game and Josh Allen being more consistent, they not going to win a championship.
And they just lost Ed Oliver, their best interior defensive lineman.
He out for the season?
For the torn biceps. So, yeah.
Geez.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much once they play, if they hopefully don't run into a team that's run heavy, they're going to lose to that team. And well, let me make sure I didn't put in my real takeover reaction again before I say the next thing that I'm going to say. Yeah, it's kind of in there. Because is this, I'm going to just say, is this real or is they just getting lucky, bro? And I know they playing the Titans, but they did what they supposed to do to the Titans. Is this coach team real? Is this like legit now at this point? It's been a well enough sample size, 8-game sample size, Sean. I can't deny it no more. At first, we said real takeover reaction last week. We said like they might be the best team in the league. Like, no, legitly, they might legitly be the best team in the league. Like, and that's not like a crazy take to say.
I mean, if the playoffs started today, they'd be the number 1 overall seed. So,
and they'd be a favorite if they'll be a favorite right now. They had to play the Bills right now in the playoffs. Do you think Vegas will have the Bills as the favorite or the Colts?
I mean, the game would be in Indianapolis, so I think the Colts would be favored.
That's crazy. Daniel, I don't know. We're gonna see if Daniel Jones do this in the playoffs, but man, they look good though, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. The Colts nice. There's one thing I'm gonna say too, Sean, that I do like about the NFL right now, and I'm looking down the list. I'm looking at the standings. Parity is the best thing that happened for the NFL this season. I think parity is good for sports in general. Because even though we got the Colts as the best team in the league, we think right now. who you genuinely think is a favorite out the AFC or NFC, or you can't tell me. Genuinely.
I could tell you 3 teams in both conferences that I think have a legit chance.
But he's not 100% confident. That's the whole thing I'm saying.
Right, yeah, no.
But that is a great thing. So now coming into the playoffs, everybody, like it's more like NBA wise. When NBA, when the Durant era, when people didn't really have no chance, they'd say, oh yeah, we're gonna try hard. Like, no, I think like teams are legit. It's teams legitly thinking like, hey, we can legitly win. I genuinely think the Patriots think they can legitimately make a run for the Super Bowl. Obviously, the Bills. I think the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, even though they 4-3, think they can. I know the Colts think they can. I know every team in the AFC West besides the Raiders believe they have a chance to win go to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, besides the Cowboys, the Giants, if the Vikings had a healthy quarterback, I'm gonna put the Vikings, Saints, Cardinals. Everybody else in the NFC legitimately think they got a chance to make a run. It's wide open. We got a division in the NFC West. 3 teams got 5 wins. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous in a good way, though, Sean. But you know what the time it is. Real take. Todd. Hey, Todd, I know you sick to see Daniel Jones ball like this too, boy. Say Jay Jones on how he's looking right now. Should have been enough for Dayball. Yeah. I'm gonna get another week before we had that conversation, Todd, about the Giants head coach. But a lot of things that happen in social media, Sean, and we're gonna put basketball in this. We usually just do football. But real take or overreaction. Derrick Rose is bigger than Michael Jordan in Chicago. Recently, this what rapper from Chicago, G Herbo said is not nothing new. People in Chicago already said this, but he said that in Chicago, Derrick Rose is bigger than Michael Jordan. Is that a real take or overreaction? I know you kind of heard what I kind of said. You want to go off me, but what was your genuine? I want to know when you first seen it, when you said to me, what was your genuine take on it? So was that a real take or overreaction to you?
A real take if you're 35 and under.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real take if you're 35 and under. Because if you're 35 and under, you probably don't have a lot of memories of the 90s Bulls and Jordan and things like that. But obviously, because D Rose is from the town, came of age there, obviously went to college, a year away and then came back and, helped to resuscitate the Bulls franchise. Yeah, for 35 and under. But that said, if you're of a certain age, 13 years Michael Jordan home in Chicago.
Oh, for sure. Listen, you could touch Mike in Chicago in the 90s.
Right, yeah. And I would even say, even when the times where he would pop back in from time to time, it was a big deal. And I would just point people to the last game he played with the Wizards when they came back and played that final game in Chicago, and watch how long those people stood up for that man. It was
well deserved, by the way.
Yeah, obviously. But, so, and I think there's still some who hold out hope that, the 90s Bulls will eventually reconcile and that they can, have their, get their appreciation. But that said, that's not what it's about. Yeah, I know. It's sad. But that said, for 35 and under, yeah, I think Derrick Rose is bigger than Michael Jordan in Chicago for 35 and under.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I would say, Sean, the reason why that ain't never gonna happen was when Jordan found out that he purposely didn't call him when his daddy died. That killed everything. I think all the extra stuff with the son, the wife, and all that blah 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 back and forth with the book stuff, I think they would have got over that. But once he found that out, yeah, it's no coming back. If you my boy and we close or teammates and we're close teammates and my father died and you purposely didn't call me because you felt the way, yeah, no, it's no talking for me.
I'll just say this, SB. I think there's fault on both sides.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think it's one person. I think it's fault on both sides.
Yeah.
But ego won't allow to own that there's fault on both sides.
Yeah. Now, 100%. I guess I fall in that 35 and under range, but yes, this was a real take. Derrick Rose is bigger to Chicago, bigger in Chicago than Michael Jordan, and today, because you got to understand, like people from Chicago, we seen Derrick Rose from high school, some people even grade school, grow up, become Derrick Rose. People used to go see Derrick Rose in a high school, Simeon, like, and packed out. Derrick Rose had a game in the United. Derrick Rose was playing in the United Center in high school. People used to go pack. We used to pack out the United Center to go see Derrick Rose then, because he's just a hometown kid. And then also it was like where Derrick Rose was playing. He's from the South Side. He was in the hood, so it's like we seen one of us make it. We see somebody from the hood. Somebody we used to go. Everybody go to the park. Go hoop. He outside hooping in the park. And make it, and then not just make it to the league. Go to the Chicago Bulls, the team of the city where he's from that we have been dying to be back good. Saves the franchise for the little time he did, and became the youngest MVP. You can't write that. He lived every Chicago kid hoop dream. Every Chicago kid hoop dream. And it's nothing that Jordan could have done because Jordan not us. We adopted Jordan because of what he did, and he locked in with us. But he's never Jordan from Carolina. You see when he went back over there to Charlotte, he didn't try to own the Bulls. You know they won't go.
Well, I mean, Reinsdorf was never going to sell the Bulls.
He wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, so maybe now he will, but
hopefully.
That remains to be seen. That's why I think I don't know if it's a fair comparison, right? Jordan, Walter Payton, Sammy Sosa, Ernie Banks. When you talk about like Shy Cons who are not from Chicago because of what they did coming to Chicago and helping those teams win and do well, it's a different animal. But Derrick Rose, obviously, as you mentioned, Derrick Rose to me is what people thought was going to happen with Ben Wilson 25, 30 years before that didn't get to happen, which we know why it didn't happen with Ben Wilson. The excitement with Derrick Rose was we didn't get to see this with Benji.
Well,
and if you know the story of Benji, I don't have to get into that, but we got to see it with Derrick Rose. And so I think that was as much a part of it because, again, both of them went to Simeon. Both of them were 25. Both of them were, they were the best high school players, not even in Chicago and many in the country. So it was a different animal with those guys. So I think it's some of that too. But we can move on, SB. I know we got to move on.
Yeah. Next, okay, yeah, because the game starting if not already started. Okay, let's go. Real take a overreaction with all this stuff going on, and there's been things going on with the NBA. Real take a overreaction, son. I think Adam Silver is too nice. He's not ruling with an iron. He don't got to rule like an iron fist like David Stern, but I feel like players are doing more things and trying more because I believe he's too nice. And I feel like Adam Silver wants to keep this kissing baby image of a president of the league. I just think he's too nice. Or he comes off publicly as he's too nice. He could be different behind the scenes, but I'm just going off from what I see. I think Adam Silver is too nice.
I'll let you answer this first.
This one was me. That was my take. I think he's just too nice. I just feel like it's with this gambling situation. I just feel like players are doing more. I'm not going to necessarily say saying more. It's just too many stuff out of line with it. It seemed like the NBA players back in the day moved with more caution or because they knew you got to go to that office. I don't see that. I don't get that type of energy from Adam Silver. To me, I don't feel like players move. Players will try their best not to get in trouble and do that, but it don't feel the same to me. It feel like the better way to say it is the best way to understand it. David Stern was like the strict parent, and see Adam Silver to me feel like he's like the cool parent. You get more leave, you do more stuff to the cool parent. To me, not to say he's the father of my league, but I'm just using that analogy.
I'm going to say it's an overreaction for a couple reasons. One, I will remind people he was the one who got Donald Sterling out of the NBA after Donald Sterling made those comments that became public. And
did he have a choice?
I mean, yeah, he could have fined him and said, but you keep he got him out of the team. Now again, Donald Sterling got $2 billion to get out of the NBA, but the fact is they had to get Donald Sterling out of the NBA, and he was the proponent for doing that. I do think when he does have to come down hard, he does. I don't think that's the way he likes to operate traditionally. But let me also say too, again, he's doing it in the age of social media. David Stern didn't do it in the age of social media, because if you've ever read any books about David Stern and know how David Stern was a trip.
Mm-hmm.
He was a piece of work. Mm-hmm. But David Stern also took over a very different NBA in 1984 than Adam Silver took over in 2014. So I think that's the first thing. And then the second thing is, I think we have to remember Adam Silver works at the pleasure of the owners. Adam Silver is a little more player friendly than David Stern was. But I also think when he has to, again, we just saw him give Jonte Porter a lifetime ban. Like, he'll come down if he has to, but I think that's generally the last resort with him. He's, compared to some of the other commissioners, and again, I don't want to compare him to Roger Goodell or Rob Manfred or even to Gary Bettman. He's the best commissioner in sports compared to those guys, because those guys are not good at all, if we're being honest. And I know there's issues with Adam Silver. There's no perfect commissioners, but if you compare him to those guys, he's the best commissioner in sports.
Mm-hmm. Next one. Real take or overreaction, Sean. The NFL MVP isn't a quarterback right now.
I'll let you answer this one first, SB.
Real take. It's Jonathan Taylor. And if you think y'all finna slick give Daniel Jones, if he continue like this, comeback player of the year, 100%. Sign, seal, deliver, lock. But if you think I'm finna let y'all sneak off and make this a quarterback award, like Daniel Jones should be MVP over Jonathan Taylor, I would never respect the MVP again. I would never respect the NFL. They need to change the award to NFL MVQB. That's what they need to change it to, because then there'd be a quarterback. That would show me it's a quarterback award. Sean, through 8 weeks, right? I want to see his receiving touchdowns too. 8 weeks. He's leading.
I don't know if it's me, but I think SB froze. Can't tell.
Okay. Did I go? Okay, I'm back.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Okay, I like that. Okay. Sean, right now, he's leading the league. 850 rushing yards, which is a league leader. He has 12 touchdowns. Only rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Sean, he has more touchdowns than he had in seasons besides his second year. Second year, he had 18. And he's on pace to get 20 plus touchdowns. I'll be real with you. Their receiving yards. Where's his receiving touchdowns? I want to see. He's at 206 on receiving yards, and he has 2 receiving touchdowns. He's the MVP right now.
He's projected, as a projection, if he continues on this pace, he's projected to rush for over 1,800 yards, have 26 rushing touchdowns, and have 53 receptions with 4 receiving touchdowns if he continues on this pace, breaking the record held by another MVP, LaDainian Tomlinson, for single season touchdowns. He's the MVP right now. Yeah,
if like I said, Sean, if they finish the season, because Daniel Jones' numbers is crazy, like right now too, it look good. He's right now, his numbers is better than his last year numbers with the Giants already at this point in the season.
Got breaking news, SB. I don't know if you had a breaking news.
The one I think I do got it. Breaking news. That don't sound good. No, I don't got it loaded here. It's okay. But breaking news, what is it?
No, it's nothing crazy. It's just Lamar Jackson is expected to return Thursday night against the Dolphins. So Lamar Jackson will be back Thursday night against the Dolphins in Miami.
True said if it's not Jonathan Taylor, it's Drake May. All right. Okay. Yeah, true. Just go ahead and just say anything. But yeah, no, it's 100% Jonathan Taylor. He's on pace because I think like Daniel Jones' number is going to look crazy. He might go for 3,000, possibly 4. But I still say yes, Jonathan Taylor. Next one up. Next one up. Kevin Stefanski won't give Shedeur Sanders a chance because of primetime Deion Sanders. Real take or overreaction?
Overreaction.
I mean, if your quarterback throw the ball out of bounds, intentional grounding for a safety in the opposite end zone, I don't know, Sean. What else you got to be then? Why is it overreaction though?
Well, first, remember, Shedeur was inactive yesterday with a back injury. So he was inactive yesterday. Second thing is, I do think at some point we will see Shedeur play. I just think they want to give Dillon Gabriel a long look because, again, they want to give him a look because they've invested more in Dillon Gabriel than they have in Shedeur. But I think eventually we will see Shedeur play. I think they've all but said the only person who hasn't said that is Kevin Stefanski, which he's not going to say that because he's the coach. But their front office and their ownership have said they expect to see both guys play this year because they want to know what they have potentially in them. Obviously, because they have 2 first-round picks in next year's draft. So it's an overreaction. I think Shedeur will play at some point when he's healthy and when they believe he's ready to play. And if Dillon Gabriel isn't playing well, then it obviously opens the door for Shedeur to play when he's healthy and when they think he's ready. So overreaction for me.
I think it's an overreaction because of the prime aspect, but because I just think like this, like if you're a head coach and you worry about another person getting your job, you don't need to be there because at the end of the day, you're not doing justice to everything else that's going on around the team. The offense as a whole has been bad. The defense looks solid. You want to say with Myles Garrett, but the only bright spot on offense is Jenkins, the running back. But if it's like you worried about prime, the last thing you should like be on your mind is like not giving somebody a chance. The best way to keep your job is to make sure you're playing good because I think when you play bad, that's how you lose your job. And then also with prime, that prime aspect is prime is in out the hospital with surgery. I don't think prime will be even healthy enough to make a run as an NFL head coach, to be honest with you. It is taxing to be a coach. Now you're adding the NFL aspect to it. Yeah. No, sir. But overreaction. Real take or overreaction, last one, Sean. Myles Garrett made a $160 million mistake. Is that
how much did you say it was?
4 years, $160 million contract extension to stay with the Cleveland Browns, which includes $123.5 million guaranteed.
Nine figures is never a mistake. Overreaction.
I'm gonna say real take because he said 2 things. Why I say is real take. He made a mistake. 2 reasons only. One, he wanted to leave. He said Myles Garrett's gonna get that money regardless. We can stop that nonsense. 9 figures, the money ain't going nowhere. He gonna get that money wherever he went. One, he said he only gonna because he want to win. That's true. It is all he said. It's not about the money you want to win. So I got to fault him for that. And then 2, he said, part of the reason why I signed my contract, Sean, I know who's going to be my quarterback. Look at me in a straight face to tell me that he knew he's going to be like 6 quarterbacks on his roster, and they can't even tell who the starter is right now, Sean. Joe, come on now.
Listen, when
you made a mistake.
No. Listen, when you feeling upset and you feeling like you made a mistake, just check your bank balance. Just check your bank balance. That's all. Just check your bank balance.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. He should have got up out of there. That's all.
Well, and 2, and again, they would have had to trade him. He wasn't a free agent. They would have had to trade him, and they always said we're not trading him. So I don't think he made a mistake.
All right, Sean, we got to go over our picks of the week. We got to get up out of here because the game is on and running, and the Bulls game is on too. I got double header for me tonight. NFL picks of the week. Obviously, Sean, you won last week. It is 4-3.
Yes.
You got to get back on the board.
All right. So first game, Miami at Atlanta. Miami beat Atlanta. We both picked Atlanta. Jets at Cincinnati. We both took Cincinnati. Jets won that one. Cleveland at New England. We both took New England. New England won. Giants at Philadelphia. We both took Philly. Philly won. Buffalo at Carolina. You took Buffalo. I took Carolina. Buffalo won. Chicago at Baltimore. You took the Bears. I took the Ravens. The Ravens did win.
With the backup.
San Francisco at Houston. I'll come back to that in a moment. San Francisco at Houston. Houston did win. We both took Houston. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. We both picked Tampa. Tampa did win. Dallas at Denver. We both took Denver. Denver blew them out. Tennessee at Indianapolis. We both took the Colts. Colts did win easily. Green Bay at Pittsburgh. I took the Packers. You took the Steelers. Green Bay did win that game. And, of course, tonight's game, we both took Kansas City, but tonight's game does not matter. So for Week 8, I do win Week 8. And can I just go back to the Baltimore thing for a moment? Can I quote Okoye from Infinity War?
Go ahead.
Why was he up there all this time? You even started. Why was he up there all this time?
I don't know, man. I don't know why they weren't playing Snoop. Oh, after the first bad game of Cooper Rush, I would have got him up out of there. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't play Snoop. You can see the difference. I don't know what Cooper Rush was doing that made them say that, but yeah, what Sean got me this week is definitely 5-3. But we're gonna come back next week and get right. We do the picks a week. We do the picks week every Saturday. What we got? 80? Is it 88?
No, it should be 89.
89. I don't know why I'm gonna keep a number behind, but okay, 89. Who you got for 89?
Who do I have for 89? I'm trying to think. Who do I have for 89? It's probably a tight end I'm thinking about. 89. Let's go with John Mackey. John
Mackey.
Hall of Fame tight end.
I like it. 89 for me. I am going to go one of my favorite wide receivers that I like. I am going Steve Smith Sr.
Smith Sr. Yep, good pick there.
Steve Smith Sr. I like Steve Smith. He know ball too, by the way, too. Especially when it comes to wide receivers, he know ball. Yes. Well, he said we got it right. You in trouble. Oh yeah, Ravens. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man, y'all all right. But it's been another great episode of Real Takes Effective Base with SB and Sean Webb. And we are out because the games are on. We'll see you guys on the next one. See you, Red. Go Bulls. Balled up. Let's go. Peace. We out.
Real takes over fake debates.